have spent several years trying to understand the language of which chickens speak, and now I have. After a very long time spent with these animals, I believe I can understand how chickens communicate, and that I can talk with the chickens. Let's go! Right now, I'm going to do a series of practicals to really get into my brain, in my chicken's brains, and see how clever they are. If they are, fairly intelligent, fairly impressive, then it's going to be easier for me to communicate with them than if they're not that intelligent and if they're, not very brainy. So we've now got to go and dive inside of our chickens and just see how clever they really are. Practical number 1 involves a small chicken toy like this. First, we open the chicken toy and put in a mixture of corn and layers pellets. We then carefully close the toy so that not much food is wasted and gets out. Once the toy is closed, we carefully check around the sides to make sure that there are no gaps other than the holes at either end. The chickens will then peck at it like this, knocking the food out. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, the treat is here. As you can see, straight away he's pecking at the toy and trying to get out the insides. This is a good sign in showing that Hercules is very intelligent and that he can figure out that there are treats and food inside. As you can see, he pecks out enough food to sustain for a few minutes, or a few seconds at least, before going back to the toy and pecking out more food, and then leaving it again. It's a good method he's got going here, and as you can tell, it's paying off rather well. It's making light work of this toy, which is proving that he is a quite rather intelligent bird. Let's go on to practical number 2. Put upon me by Fred Hams. Fred Hams is one of the UK's leading poultry enthusiasts, and I was lucky enough to be able to get in touch with him through a series of emails. Now I asked him what would be best for practical number 2, and he said a small metal car to startle the chickens and see what they think of it. So, let's have a look. Clearly the chickens were all startled by the presence of the little grey car that ran around and scared them. So, let's go on and see if practical number 3 is going to be one step too far. Let's have a look now. So, practical number 3 is one involving my iPad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a series of predatorial calls from England. Now, hopefully the chickens are going to react to this and take cover in the bushes behind me or underneath or somewhere else. And so yeah, let's get on and play these calls. So, on full volume now, my iPad is going to play the first, which is, of course, the fox call. Here are the chickens' reactions. They have all stopped dead still, indicating they are scared. Right now, they are trying to play basically a dead game. A game of dead. This is a vixen scream. Okay, so they're clearly scared of the fox. Now let's try the sound of a calling buzzard. Again, they stop and look up. They've not taken cover from bushes like I expected, but they have stopped in a freezing kind of way. So now let's go on to the final animal call, which is owls. Owls have distinctive calls. Which of these do you recognise? This is a barn owl. They don't seem too bothered by the barn owl. I'm guessing the barn owl is too small to take a bird of this size. The eastern screech owl. They're clearly aware. Try something else. The western screech owl. Clearly they're not too worried about these.
After doing a series of practicals with our chickens, we can now understand how they eat, how they react to calls, and how they react to predators. So we can now go on to trying to understand and communicate with these chickens using a wide range of vocal techniques in their vocabulary.